Introducing the Kingfisher Tankit waterproofing system technical video. This is a presentation which illustrates the practical aspects of tanking and waterproofing any situation where water pressure exists. We will demonstrate how underground waterproofing can be achieved by use of only 3 products. These are tank plug, a fast-setting waterproof powder; tankit, a cement-based waterproof slurry coat; and KX11, which is a waterproofing and bonding agent for use in the render coat and tanking slurry coats. This schematic diagram shows the arrangement for tanking down to 2.5 meters below ground level. Note how the tanking ties in with the physical damp-proof course at 150 millimeters, 6 inches, up from external ground level. Where an existing concrete slab is in place, the perimeter of the floor at the wall or floor joint needs to be chiseled out into a 50 millimeter wide by 50 millimeter deep channel. Then an initial render coat is applied, which is essential to provide both a flat surface for tanking and a salt-resisting layer. The render coat should be formed into a 45-degree fillet at the horizontal wall-to-floor joint and the vertical wall-to-wall corners. This is followed by 2 tankit coats, which are applied while the render is still green. The tankit is continued along the floor to create the full tank. The tankit on the floor is then protected by a 50 millimeter thick screed. The tankit coats can be overplastered with either render, Kingfisher drywall renovating plaster, or it can be dry-lined using insulation-backed plasterboard. The type of finish depends on the intended use of the tanked area. This is a situation where the tankit system is ideal. We have a pit which is under constant water pressure. Firstly, preparation of the surfaces to be tanked is extremely important. All loose material must be removed. All active water seepage must be stopped. Notice the existing flooding level of this pit. The seepage can be stopped by using the tank plug product. Tank plug is a fast-setting cement-based powder which is mixed with water to give a waterproof plug to the leak. Here we see that around the leak is being chiseled out. In more extreme situations of running water, it may be necessary to divert the water pressure through a drip pipe to drain. However, here we just need to open the hole for the tank plug to get a key. The tank plug powder is mixed with water. Add the water to the powder and mix until the correct consistency is reached. More powder can be added if necessary. The tank plug mixture is then held over the leak with a gloved hand. Hold it over the hole until cured, which, as you can see, is within a couple of minutes. Mix only as much as can be used in this time. In this situation, the method of preparation for the render coat was to physically fix expanded metal lath to the walls. This was necessary for speed, to save removing the plaster back to the substrate. Normally, the render is applied direct to the brickwork or stonework. Fixing of the lath can be done by drilling and screwing, ensuring a 100 millimeter overlap between each sheet. The wall is then ready to render. The wall must be rendered with a minimum 10 mm thick coating. The render is a mix of 4:1 sharp washed sand and sulfate resisting cement, which the gauging liquid is KX11 diluted with 1 to 3 parts of clean water. The render must be pushed through the lath to contact the wall behind and to completely encase the metal. It's important to pay particular attention to the wall floor joint, as this is the point where the highest water pressure exists. The wall floor joint should be formed into a 45-degree angle fillet to give extra strength and to enable a brush to smooth round the 90-degree corner. The render must be smooth and can either be sponge finished or wood float finished. The tankit coats are then applied the next day while the render is still green. The tankit is mixed with KX11 diluted 1 part to 5 parts clean water. To mix half a bag at a time, add 3 litres of gauging liquid into the mixing container. Add the powder to the liquid while mixing. Keep adding the powder until the desired consistency is reached. The ideal consistency will just support the weight of an application brush when stood in the mixture. Our operators are mixing outside, but if mixing has to be inside, then ensure plenty of ventilation or ensure your operators wear dust masks. The application of the tankit slurry should be by brush using a block brush. The first coat should be applied using vertical brush strokes. The slurry coating should not be painted out as with a paint, but applied by maintaining a flowing edge. Mark out 8 square meters and ensure that 125 kilo bag of tankit covers that area for 2 coats. Pay particular attention to the wall-to-floor joint and the wall-to-wall corners by overlapping onto the next surface in each case. Take your time and ensure a uniform coating. Smooth off any rough edges ready to take the second coat. The second coat should be applied when the first coat has set. This would take at least 4 hours, but do not leave the first coat for more than 36 hours. The second coat to be applied using horizontal brush strokes. When the walls have dried light grey, the decorative finish can be applied. In the pit, a render was not required, and the walls were painted with our Weatherflex masonry paint. When the walls were tanked, the floor was prepared in the same way as the walls, and a preparation screed applied. The floor was tanked with 2 tankit slurry coats, and then a protective topping was applied the next day. As you can see, the walls and floor have been painted to give the desired finish. There are many other situations where tankit is used. One of those is in building renovation. this one being an old mill which was being restored. The building is set on different levels, with a high ground level at the front of the building, dropping down to near the river level at the rear. The survey of the building is very important. This ascertains the areas that need waterproofing and what condition the surfaces are in to be tanked. Here there are open and crumbling lime joints in random stone. There were 2 levels in the building to be tanked, in total 5 meters below the external ground. Here we can see the active seepage before tanking. Hence the Aquatec product from our tankit system was used. Prior to rendering the wall, the worst areas of voids in joints need to be repaired. This is done using sand, cement and KX11 as outlined earlier. The joints are pointed and filled to solid to give a surface ready to receive a render. Again, the render is made using sharp washed sand and sulfate resisting cement to give a thickness of at least 10 millimeters. This leaves a flat surface which is ready to receive the first Aquatec coat after at least 8 hours, but not more than 48 hours curing time. The Aquatec methods of application are similar to the tankit product. Tankit and Aquatec are made on site at Ulverston, on the edge of the English Lake District. The mixed product is then filled into our distinctive screen-printed bags. The bags are each numbered with their manufacture date and batch number, the expiry date being 6 months after manufacture. A sample of each batch is taken, tested and logged as part of our quality control system. This is stored in our quality records. The Kingfisher tankit system has been used in large projects, as with this drinking water storage tank, which had to have a constant head of 100,000 gallons of water for fire protection purposes, all waterproofed using Kingfisher Aquatec. For a full technical brochure, contact our head office in Cumbria and speak to our technical personnel, or alternatively email us at king@king-fisher.com.